Imagine this. It's 10 p.m., and tomorrow is your biggest exam. Your desk is covered with books, notes, and empty coffee cups. You tell yourself, I'll stay awake all night and finish everything. Hour after hour, you keep reading page after page. By morning, you feel exhausted, but confident, because you spent the entire night studying. Then the exam begins. The first few questions seem familiar, but suddenly, your mind goes blank. You know you've seen the answer before, but you can't remember it. Sound familiar? This happens to millions of students every year. The problem isn't that you're lazy or unintelligent. The problem is the way your brain stores information. Cramming may feel productive, but neuroscience shows that it is one of the least effective ways to learn. To understand why, we first need to understand how memory actually works.
Think of your brain like a computer. It has temporary storage and permanent storage. Temporary storage is called short-term or working memory. This is where information stays for only a few seconds or minutes, unless your brain decides it is important. Imagine trying to remember a phone number just long enough to dial it. That's working memory in action. Long-term memory is completely different. It stores information for days, months, years, or even a lifetime. Your name, your first bicycle ride, and basic math facts all live in long-term memory. The problem is that information doesn't automatically move from short-term memory to long-term memory. Your brain has a filter. It asks one question: is this information important enough to keep? If the answer is no, it throws it away. Cramming overloads short-term memory without giving the brain enough time to transfer information into long-term storage.
Every time you learn something new, billions of neurons begin communicating through tiny connections called synapses. When you review information repeatedly over time, these connections become stronger. Scientists call this process memory encoding. Think of walking through a forest. The first time you walk, you push through thick bushes. The path is difficult. If you walk the same route every day, a clear trail forms. Eventually, it becomes easy to follow. Your brain works exactly the same way. Repetition strengthens neural pathways. One long study session creates only a weak trail. Multiple shorter study sessions create a strong and lasting pathway. This is why students who study for 30 minutes each day often remember more than students who study 6 hours the night before an exam.
Why cramming feels like it works. Here's the tricky part. Cramming gives you an illusion of learning. When you read the same page over and over again, everything starts looking familiar. Your brain mistakes familiarity for understanding. You think, I know this already. But recognition is not the same as recall. During an exam, the textbook isn't sitting in front of you. Your brain must retrieve the information without any hints. If the memory wasn't properly encoded, retrieval becomes difficult. Psychologists call this the illusion of competence. Just because something feels familiar doesn't mean you can explain it or use it when needed. That's why many students leave the exam saying, I knew the answer yesterday. The forgetting curve. More than a century ago, psychologist Hermann Ebbinghaus discovered something fascinating. We naturally forget information very quickly after learning it. Within a day, a large portion of new information can disappear if it isn't reviewed. This is called the forgetting curve. Fortunately, every time you review information before completely forgetting it, the memory becomes stronger. The forgetting curve becomes flatter, meaning you remember the information much longer. This is why spaced repetition works so well. Instead of studying 6 hours in one night, you study a little today, review tomorrow, review again after 3 days, then again after a week. Each review strengthens the memory. The power of spaced learning. Imagine watering a plant. Would you pour 50 liters of water onto it once a month? Of course not. You water it a little every few days. Learning works the same way. Your brain grows stronger through repeated exposure over time, not one massive session. Even 20 or 30 minutes of focused study each day often produces better results than 5 hours of cramming. Small, consistent effort wins.
Emotion helps memory. Have you noticed how you remember exciting moments from years ago? That's because emotions help memory. When learning connects with curiosity, surprise, humor, or personal experience, the brain pays more attention. Instead of memorizing facts mechanically, ask questions. Why does this happen? How can I use this? Can I connect this idea to something I already know? The more meaningful the information becomes, the easier your brain stores it.
Build strong learning habits. The goal isn't studying harder, it's studying smarter. Break your learning into small sessions. Review regularly. Test yourself often. Sleep enough. Take short breaks. Avoid multitasking. Stay consistent instead of waiting until the last minute. Learning isn't about filling your brain with information overnight. It's about gradually building strong neural connections that last for years. Final message. Cramming may help you remember a few facts for a few hours, but lasting knowledge requires time. Every review strengthens your brain. Every night's sleep protects your memories. Every practice question improves retrieval. Success isn't created during one stressful night before an exam. It's created through small daily actions repeated again and again.